Before this story begins, do not watch another second without hitting like, subscribing to the channel, and commenting your thoughts below because what you are about to hear is one of the most shocking web night controversies yet. Share this video with every fan who has followed Dylan Wang and Shen Yue from the beginning because this story will change how you see everything. Stay with us until the end because the truth behind this drama is more intense than anyone imagined. It was supposed to be a night of celebration. The web night event was filled with flashing lights, cameras, applause, and carefully rehearsed smiles. Celebrities walked the carpet with confidence, dressed to perfection, waving to fans and photographers. Dylan Wang arrived with his usual calm charisma, standing tall, composed, and ready to face the spotlight. Nobody expected that before the night even ended, his name would be trending for all the wrong reasons once again. As Dylan took his seat inside the venue, whispers had already started circulating online. At first they were subtle comments, barely noticeable among the flood of praise and admiration. Then suddenly the tone shifted. A clip began spreading rapidly, taken from a strange angle, edited just enough to confuse the narrative. In the video, Dylan appeared distant, distracted, almost cold. Within minutes, accusations began forming, and before anyone could react, the internet decided he was guilty of something nobody could clearly explain. The drama escalated fast. Fans argued with each other, timelines filled with speculation, and hashtags surged without context. Dylan Wang attacked again became a phrase repeated over and over, even though nobody could clearly say who he had attacked or how. The accusation lived purely in interpretation, amplified by emotion and online outrage. Then came the turning point. Someone mentioned Shen Yue. At first it was just a comment buried deep in a thread. Then screenshots appeared. Old interviews were dragged out of context. Past moments were replayed with new assumptions layered onto them. Suddenly Shen Yue was pulled into the storm, her name trending alongside Dylan's, framed as the silent cause of the entire situation. Fans were confused. Others were furious. Some accused Shen Yue of influencing Dylan. Others painted her as manipulative, cold, or calculating. The narrative twisted rapidly, turning a celebration into a battlefield of opinions. Inside the venue, Dylan remained unaware of the chaos unfolding online. He smiled politely during speeches, applauded when expected, and maintained his composure. But those who knew him well noticed something was off. His eyes kept drifting toward his phone. His posture stiffened. He sensed the shift before the headlines even reached him. By the time the event ended, the damage was already spreading. Clips from Web Night were dissected frame by frame. Every glance Dylan made was interpreted as arrogance. Every moment of silence from Shen Yue was taken as proof of guilt. The internet demanded explanations before anyone had a chance to speak. Shen Yue was at home when she realized what was happening. Her phone buzzed non-stop. Messages poured in from friends asking if she was okay. Notifications stacked endlessly. She scrolled through the comments slowly, disbelief settling in as she saw her name used as fuel for outrage. She had not attended the event. She had not spoken about Dylan. She had done nothing. Yet she was suddenly at the center of a storm she never entered. Dylan called her that night. The conversation was quiet, heavy, filled with pauses that said more than words. Neither of them knew how to respond publicly. Anything said too quickly could be twisted further. Silence felt safer, yet silence also allowed the narrative to grow unchecked. Meanwhile, the internet exploded. Haters took control of the story. They edited videos, wrote long threads accusing Shen Yue of emotional manipulation. Others claimed Dylan's behavior was influenced by unresolved history. Old rumors resurfaced, reshaped into something darker, louder, more damaging. What hurt the most was not the criticism itself, but how easily people believed it. Fans who once supported both of them now chose sides. Comment sections turned hostile. Every post became a battleground. Shen Yue was painted as a bad person not because of facts but because controversy needed a target. Dylan eventually broke his silence. Not with a statement, not with a post, but with his actions. He appeared at his next public schedule calm but visibly strained. He bowed deeply to fans, thanked them sincerely, and avoided addressing the rumors directly. That restraint only fueled more speculation. Behind closed doors, the pressure was overwhelming. Management teams debated responses. Friends advised patience. Both Dylan and Shen Yue understood that once the internet decides a story, reversing it is never easy. Days passed and the storm refused to settle. Then something unexpected happened. A longer unedited clip from Web Night surfaced. It showed the moments before and after the controversial scene. Context returned. Dylan's so-called cold expression was actually concern for a technical issue happening offstage. The moment people labeled as arrogance was nothing more than focus. Slowly the narrative began to crack. Fans started apologizing. Some deleted old posts. Others doubled down, unwilling to admit they had been wrong. Shen Yue still said nothing. Her silence now felt different. It was no longer weakness but dignity. When she finally posted days later, it was simple. No accusations. No explanations. Just gratitude to those who supported truth over noise. That single message shifted the atmosphere instantly. The controversy did not vanish overnight. But the truth had begun to breathe. Dylan later spoke in an interview, his voice steady but firm. He did not blame haters. He did not attack anyone. He simply said that misunderstanding spreads faster than reality, and that those closest to the situation often suffer the most. Fans listened. What began as an explosive scandal slowly turned into a lesson about perception, online judgment, and how easily lives are affected by careless narratives. Shen Yue emerged from the ordeal quieter but stronger. Dylan stood taller, not because he fought back, but because he endured. This was not just another celebrity controversy. It was a reminder that behind every trending topic is a human being navigating emotions while the world watches. And this is why this story matters. If you stayed until this moment, hit like right now. Comment below what you think about how this drama unfolded. Share this video with fans who need to hear the full story. Subscribe for more deep dives into the truth behind the headlines, the moments behind the cameras, and the stories the internet gets wrong before it gets right. The morning after Web Night did not bring relief. It brought silence, the heavy kind that settles in before another wave crashes. Dylan Wang woke up to a phone that would not stop vibrating. Messages from management, friends, colleagues, and people he had not spoken to in years filled the screen. Every headline told a different version of the same story, and none of them reflected the truth he lived through the night before. He sat quietly, scrolling without expression, absorbing the weight of how fast the narrative had turned against him. A single moment, misunderstood and repeated endlessly, had become proof of something he never did. This was not new to him, yet this time felt different. This time, Shen Yue had been pulled into the chaos. Across the city, Shen Yue stared at her ceiling, phone placed face down beside her. She had read enough. She had seen her name twisted into shapes she did not recognize. Words like manipulative, calculated, and cold were being attached to her image by strangers who had never heard her voice in private or seen her hesitation before speaking. The pain did not come from anger. It came from disbelief at how quickly kindness could be erased by noise. The internet was no longer asking questions. It was issuing verdicts. Fan groups split apart. Some defended Dylan fiercely. Others turned against him to protect their own narratives. Shen Yue became the center of a storm she never stepped into, accused of influencing, provoking, and hiding behind silence. Every past clip was re-examined. Every smile was reinterpreted. Dylan finally broke down in a quiet room, not in tears, but in exhaustion. He had learned long ago that reacting emotionally only fed the fire. But holding everything inside came at a cost. He called Shen Yue again, this time not to discuss strategy or damage control, but to apologize. Not because he had done anything wrong, but because she was hurting. The conversation was gentle, slow, filled with understanding. Neither blamed the other. Neither raised their voice. They acknowledged the truth quietly, that fame amplifies misunderstandings and turns private moments into public weapons. Days passed. Then something shifted. A full unedited recording from Web Night surfaced online. It was not dramatic. It did not scream scandal. It simply showed the full context. Dylan reacting to a technical issue off stage. His expression focused, not hostile. His silence purposeful, not dismissive. The internet paused. Some fans began to question what they had believed. Comment sections changed tone. Apologies appeared quietly, mixed with excuses and denial. The narrative cracked, but it did not disappear completely. Controversy rarely vanishes. It only evolves. Shen Yue finally spoke. Her message was brief, calm, human. She did not defend herself aggressively. She did not attack anyone. She simply reminded people that misunderstanding spreads faster than truth, and that silence does not mean guilt. That was enough. The storm did not end instantly, but it slowed. Dylan followed days later in an interview. His voice was steady. He spoke about pressure, about perception, about how easily moments are distorted online. He did not mention names. He did not assign blame. Fans listened differently this time. What remained was not scandal, but reflection. Shen Yue returned to her routines quietly. Dylan continued his work with renewed focus. Neither of them tried to reclaim public sympathy. They allowed time to do what arguments could not: heal. This controversy did not end with a dramatic confrontation. It ended with restraint, with maturity, with the understanding that not every accusation deserves a reaction, and not every story deserves amplification. The truth survived not because it was loud, but because it was patient. And that is what made this moment unforgettable. If you stayed until the end of this story, hit like now. Comment your thoughts below because your voice matters here. Share this video with fans who believe in fairness over outrage. Subscribe for more deep dives into the stories behind the headlines, the moments the internet gets wrong, and the truths that deserve to be told fully. Because the next story is already forming. And when it does, you will want to hear it from the beginning.